We try so hard to be there for others, to show up, to prove our love, to never let go. But in that constant presence, something painful happens. We become invisible. Carl Jung observed this paradox, that the more we give without balance, the more we dissolve into the background. People stop noticing, they stop appreciating, and we're left wondering what more we need to do to matter. So maybe stepping back isn't losing them. It's the only way to be truly seen. I know these words might sound simple, but they carry a weight that most of us have never fully understood. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to step back. We want so badly to be present in people's lives and show them how much we care. But in trying to hold them close, we lose ourselves, giving too much without noticing when it's not appreciated. Carl Jung understood that constantly living through others is a sign we've lost touch with our inner center, our true self. When we're always overextending to others, always making ourselves available, always being the one who reaches out first, we're actually pulling ourselves away from our own center, from our own wholeness. Think about it. When was the last time you sat with yourself in silence and asked, what do I need? What do I want? What would make me feel fulfilled, regardless of what others think or expect? There is something powerful in pulling away, not out of spite or manipulation, but from a place of self-respect and self-worth, because you recognize that your presence is a privilege, not a given. So let them miss you. I'm not talking about trying to make someone chase you. Those games are futile and exhausting. I want you to reclaim your energy and protect your peace. Sometimes the best thing you can do for a relationship is to give it a little breathing room. Step back and let them feel the difference when you are not constantly giving. Jung taught that sometimes we often find our truth in withdrawal. It's in the silence, in the space between words, in the pause between breaths, that we reconnect with what we truly feel. When we're always on, always performing, always available, we lose touch with our authentic selves. But here's what's fascinating. When you step away, something magical happens. Absence creates space. Space for reflection, space for appreciation, and space for longing. When you constantly make yourself available, it becomes easy for others to take you for granted. Your presence and kindness begin to feel ordinary, expected even. But when you create a little distance, they can feel your absence. And in that absence, they begin to recognize your worth and realize how much light you bring into their world. According to Jung, people project parts of themselves onto us. When we're always present, we often become invisible in their psyche, a backdrop for their projections. We become part of the scenery. But when we step away, the projection breaks, and they're forced to see us more clearly. Suddenly, we're not just a constant in their lives. We're a person with our own needs, our own boundaries, our own life. I know it's hard. We believe that if we stay close, they will finally see how much we are worth. We think if we just give a little more, love a little harder, be a little more available, they'll wake up and realize what they have. But you cannot prove your value by how often you are around. Your value shines through by what's missing when you are not. And sometimes letting people feel that emptiness is the only way for them to realize how important you are. Jung said, "What you withdraw from becomes visible." It's often only when we step away that our true impact becomes clear. Think about the sun. We don't fully appreciate its warmth until we step into the shade. We don't value light until we experience darkness. If your connection is real, your absence will speak louder than any words ever could. And if it isn't, then no amount of staying, pushing, or overextending will make it so. Jung believed that no connection built on false roles or people-pleasing can survive true individuation. If you must perform to be loved, if you must constantly prove your worth, if you must always be on to maintain someone's interest, it's not real love. It's dependency. It's transaction. It's everything except authentic connection. The more you're always there, the easier it becomes for people to forget what it feels like not to have you around. They start to see your presence as guaranteed, your love as unconditional, your availability as endless. And while unconditional love is beautiful, unconditional availability often breeds contempt. Creating space doesn't mean you abandon anyone. It means you give them room to appreciate you. You send a quiet reminder that your presence is a choice, not a guarantee. By stepping back, you set a boundary, saying, "I love you, but I don't have to chase you. My value doesn't lessen just because I'm not always around. To Jung, boundaries aren't walls. They're symbols of self-awareness, signs that we've begun to define who we are, apart from others. Boundaries are how we honor our own energy, our own time, our own emotional well-being. They're not selfish. They're essential. When you set this boundary, something profound happens. You stop being the person who always initiates. You stop being the one who always reaches out first. You stop being the emotional caretaker for everyone else's needs while ignoring your own. Giving people the space to miss you also helps you see things more clearly. When you step back, you get a chance to observe how they respond. Do they reach out? Do they notice? Do they make an effort to keep you close? Or do they drift away? Their response speaks volumes about where you stand in their lives. People's actions in your absence are often more truthful than their words in your presence. When you're always around, people can say anything. They can make promises, express feelings, claim they care. But when you step away, their true feelings reveal themselves through their actions, or lack thereof. This isn't about testing people or creating drama. It's about getting clarity. It's about understanding the truth of your relationships so you can invest your energy wisely. The right people won't forget you because you are not constantly reminding them of your presence. They will feel your absence, and they will come to you, drawn by the genuine connection you have built. Those who value you will make the effort to be in your life, and those who don't, they will fade, creating space for people who truly get you. Not every connection is meant to last forever. Some relationships only reveal their true nature when you stop feeding them your constant energy. Sometimes people are chapters, not the whole story. Jung believed that life unfolds in stages, and some people belong to only one chapter of your individuation journey, not the whole book. This doesn't make those relationships less meaningful, but it does help us understand that not every connection needs to be permanent to be valuable. When someone fades away because you stopped overextending yourself, they're showing you something important. They're revealing that their interest in you was conditional. Conditional on your constant availability, your endless giving, your willingness to always be the one making effort. That's not love. That's convenience. When you pull back, you make room for yourself. You get to focus on your growth, your needs, and strengthen your sense of self-worth. Who are you when you are not defined by your role in someone else's life? What lights you up, fills you with joy, brings you back to yourself? Jung called this return to self the journey toward wholeness, when your life is no longer just a reaction to others, but a conscious creation of your own meaning. When you stop defining yourself by how needed you are, how available you are, how much you can give, you start to discover who you actually are. Instead of pouring all your energy into keeping others close, realize how much better it feels to invest that energy in yourself. You no longer depend on others to see your value, because you are learning to see it for yourself. You start to fill your own cup instead of constantly pouring from an empty vessel. This isn't selfish. This is survival. This is sanity. This is self-love. Think of it like breathing. You can't only exhale. You need to inhale too. Taking a step back is a way of inhaling. It's a way of refilling your spirit so that you can show up fully for the people who truly value you and are willing to show up fully for you in return. When you're constantly available, you're only exhaling. You're giving out all your energy, all your love, all your attention, without taking any back in. Eventually, you suffocate. You burn out. You become resentful. But when you create space, when you let people miss you, you give yourself permission to breathe again, to fill your lungs with your own life, your own dreams, your own peace. So let them miss you. Give them the time and space to realize the weight of your absence. Trust that those who do care will find their way back to you. Sometimes letting go a little is the only way for others to hold on tighter. And in that space, you find a new sense of confidence that doesn't depend on anyone else's validation. You discover a strength you didn't know you had. You remember who you were before you lost yourself in everyone else's needs. You will feel whole and more at peace. In the end, letting people miss you is honoring yourself. It is a reminder that your worth isn't defined by anyone else's validation or presence in your life. You are enough, whether they are close or far away. Your value doesn't fluctuate based on how others treat you. Your worth is inherent, constant, unshakable. And by giving space, you will discover who values you enough to make their way back. You'll learn who sees you as a person worth pursuing, worth fighting for, worth making effort for. You'll separate the people who love your presence from the people who love your convenience. Most importantly, you'll remember something Jung knew to be true. The journey to wholeness sometimes requires us to stand alone for a while. Not because we're meant to be alone forever, but because we need to remember who we are when we're not trying to be everything to everyone else. And when you're gone, not out of bitterness, but out of quiet strength, they'll feel it. That's when your absence will say what your presence never could. And maybe then, they'll finally value what they never saw clearly before.